his hobby has been to get a degree in theology, and he has a PhD. And this is a little bit about his own personal history and a part about his research. And I have a handout here that I'll go and pass out as he's talking. There will be plenty of opportunity for questions, and so we'd like to welcome Dr. Grant Steves.
Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be here talking to you because I've been in your neighborhood talking to people. You know, I have allergies and the spring is really getting to me. I look forward to a time when I don't have allergies. In fact, Jesus prophesied in the book of Revelation and in Matthew. And this is what Jesus said. He said that there would come a time when there would be things that would be difficult to deal with. In fact, in chapter 24, verse 6, he said, you're going to hear of wars and the reports of wars. Iraq and Iran, Mogadishu. We have them now. See that you're not terrified, for these things must take place. But the end is not yet. For the nations will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there will be food shortages. Rice is being rationed.
You're already getting my hand up.
Earthquakes in one place after another. China, tsunamis in Myanmar. These are the prophecies of the last days. And Jesus prophesied these very things. But remember, there is hope. And the hope is also established in God's Word, in the book of Revelation. And this is what the hope is. If you believe that there is a new kingdom coming, a new heavens and a new earth, where God will reign. And this is what he says in chapter 21, verse 4. And their eyes, and he will wipe out every tear from their eyes, and you won't have to wear glasses anymore. And death will be no more, neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be anymore, because the former things have passed away. I gave that sermon on many occasions as a child, at doors. Knock, knock, who's here? Jehovah's Witness. Except I never said that. Because it tended to get the doors slammed in my face. So instead, you learn techniques. You learn a little bit of style in your presentation, even at age 10. And you learn how to present religion to people. That in this country, almost 90% of the population has a sincere belief in some kind of a God. And so you have, in a sense, a foot up, don't you, when you go to that door. There's a possibility that they will listen to you. Now, I asked for divine intervention today to give me a PowerPoint. But apparently, divine intervention doesn't work. So I gave you an outline, and I will tell you what I had in my PowerPoint and try to be as illustrative of it as possible. In a recent work by a man named Pascal Boyer, and I highly recommend this. It's a little deeper than some stuff, but it's well worth the read. And he says, we look to religion for 4 major reasons. One is to explain the inexplicable. Wars, rumors of wars. I explained it. Second, we look for comfort. No more tears. No more death. That is the utopian ideal. That's where you want to be. So the first 2 things in my little sermonette were already met in terms of what Boyer has talked about in religion. And you'll notice I'm addressing the issue of religion. The third is that it provides social order. Politicians love this Because if you have a religious person, chances are they're going to be better behaved, you know, because they know they're going to go to hell if they misbehave. And finally, religion provides a cognitive illusion. It takes superstition and makes it seem okay. Well, you say, we can refute those, but most things that are superstitious really can't be refuted, can they? Because, as I'm going to point out during this speech, I have been inspired by God. Well, how the hell do you know if I have or not? You can't examine my brain, there is no test for it, and so you have to take my word for it. And the more books I publish, the better known I am, and obviously, the better sex you'll have. Or was that a cheap one? So the cult definitions and denomination definition. Actually, a sect, I would say, is a teenage religion. A cult is a child, and a denomination is a full-blown adult. Now, how do I come to this conclusion? Because it is a bit of a contrary approach, especially by people in religion. They don't like to see themselves as a cult. They're a denomination. It's much better sounding. But the reality is they're cults, all of them. And this is why I point this out. You start out as a cult. Jesus Christ, rebelling against Judaism, a cult. Today, if you're a Christian, are you a cult? No, you belong to a major denomination. Mohammed, what did he start out as? A cult. Had a few faithful followers, sharpened their swords, and they went out and got members. There's more than one way to convert people. Jehovah's Witnesses do it gently. And then you finally move to a sect stage where there's a little bit more acceptance. For example, there are a number of groups that are called non-denominational groups today. You've heard about these rascals? They belong primarily, if you look at their teachings, they belong to the evangelical tradition. Baptist, maybe Pentecostal, but they're far from non-denominational. They may hide under that guise, but they're hiding. And some of them are very, very large. And of course, we'll talk about how difficult it is to be a large group. Now, what are the differences? I noted there are doctrinal differences. In cults, you really have strange beliefs. As one of the audience members said before I started, she had just heard of a cult that is based around sex, not S-E-C-S-E-X. That's not unheard of. In fact, I would suggest to you that if you go to Texas and you look at that renegade Mormon church, they're having a little sex down there. A person my age has a chance. And that's the law catches up with you. So that's one of the differences, doctrine.